Now, if you do have subluxation in the spine, which we'll talk about, when that vertebra gets jarred out of a healthy position, either through traumas or through bad habits or both, what happens is it distorts the soft tissue and you end up with damage to the disc. If you look at the way a disc is built, it's actually an organ. It's a very complex system. It's not just like a ligament. It's made up of the nucleus in the center and the annular fibers that wrap around there. The nucleus is like a gelatinous ball bearing that joint is supposed to rock and roll on. Each one of those discs has it's almost like the jelly inside of a jelly donut, okay? And it is wrapped with these annular fibers, these cartilaginous fibers that wrap around that, their annular fibers that wrap around that nucleus pulposus form that donut, if you will. It's almost more like a hockey puck than a donut, but you guys get the visual on that, right? That gelatinous ball bearing allows for that healthy joint motion. Those fibers, these annular fibers, are actually weaved right into the periosteum of the bone. They go right into the bone itself. So you've got this very strong setup that takes a tremendous amount of stress as long as you don't put it in the wrong position. If you put it in the wrong position under load, or you give it an excessive load, or there's aberrant biomechanics, which we'll talk about shortly, when the joint's out of alignment, what happens is the vertebral body stops moving properly. The joint stops moving properly. The way the joint is designed is there is a suction, a pumping of fluids through these tissues. See, there's a very poor blood supply to the disc itself. It relies on a process of pumping, a sucking and pushing of fluids through these tissues, and that's called imbibition. Imbibition is like hydraulics. It's how fluids exchange through those tissues. When your joints are healthy and lined up, they pump and suck fluids through the tissue. That keeps the tissue well hydrated, gets nutrients to the tissue, and gets toxins out of the joint. I like to say that a healthy disc is like fresh chicken. Okay, what fresh chicken looks like versus dried up old chicken. All right, dried up old chicken is what happens when you have subluxation. A joint comes out of alignment, out of a healthy position. What happens here is not only are we now mechanically stressing a joint, it makes sense to you that if the tires aren't lined up, something's going to wear down, yes? When the joint's not lined up properly, that creates a mechanical stress that wears the tissues down. But even more significant is the fact that you lose that hydraulic pump and the fluids aren't moving through that tissue anymore. So now you go from that nice, healthy, fresh-looking chicken to that nasty-looking, dried-up old chicken, okay? So the disc starts to dry out. When the disc starts to dry out, it becomes weaker. And this is what happens.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jesse Davis. I'm one of the chiropractors here at Franson Family Chiropractic. I hope that you enjoyed that video clip, and I want you to get the opportunity to see what our most successful patient cases have done to get their health back, to get their energy and their life back, to maintain it and also to increase it in the future. So what I want you to do, follow the link that you'll see here on the screen and on the side of the page. Fill in, when you follow that link, fill in your name, your email address. That way I can send you a link so you can see this whole presentation. So you can go ahead and do that now. I want you to enjoy the video.